Or about these scary creatures. Lost. Lost is a 12-year-old boy who was abandoned by his parents and involved in a car accident. While crossing the street to leave, he was struck by a vehicle. Though nearly unconscious, Lost could still hear and see what was happening, even though he was unable to move. Someone rushed over and picked him up and brought a cup containing blood. Brought him into a laboratory inside. The person tried to hear him, but nothing worked until they arrived with a cup containing black slime and lost and made Lost drink it. Lost regained consciousness and still deeply grateful to his rescue. After a few days in the lab, he started to lose consciousness again as the slime started oozing from his wounds. The person who had saved him fled in a panic, leaving Lost abandoned once more. This is only in a time in the Arctic state. Lost has a speed of 41.5 speed. Lurker, an ordinary employee who had been working at a facility for years. One day, something bad began to happen there. One staff member started disappearing until only Lurker remained. There was an eerie silence while he worked. Everything seemed normal, but he began to feel a tingling sensation in his arm. He looked but saw nothing, so he continued his work, cutting meat and placing it in the freezer. Then he saw blood droplets falling onto the meat. When he opened his hand, it started to be consumed by a black slime. He ran toward the exit, but the door simply wouldn't work. It refused to open no matter what. He rushed and tried to clear off the slime, but couldn't find anything to remove it because the facility was so dark. Finally, Lurker gave up, sat at a table, and passed out. Lurker has a speed of 41.2 speed and turns very quickly. Cuss is the owner of this place only became who he is today because of confrontation with one of the employees. The employees have grown frustrated over his low pay. They tried to explain the reasons for the major wages, but the employee had refused to listen. Eventually, the employee shoved a barrel of radioactive material and fled. That employee began concluding the forbidden experience on other apes. Sandman, Ashy, and Scar were among his test subjects. He wanted to destroy the planet once and for all. He nearly succeeded. The only reason failed that Cuss didn't die. Instead, Cuss underwent a physical mutation that made him stronger. Upon seeing what had been done to the other apes, Cuss decided to attack the employee, but it was already too late. Cuss is self-aware, capable of speech, but something changed with him, and now he enjoys killing. Cuss has a speed stat of 41. Thus was just a 13-year-old boy living a normal life. On his 14th birthday, he plotted a massive hole in the forest next to his home and decided to get closer to see what's inside. However, he failed to notice a loose stone where he stepped. He slipped and immediately fell into the hole, which turned out to be a laboratory. Dust died during the 30-meter fall, but a black slime entered his body and revived him, leaving him 3 times his original size, completely insane and suffering from extreme sinus, unable to distinguish between a friend and a friend. He approaches anyone to see if they are unable dangerous, yet lacking controls over his own body. He accidentally kills the person. If the person runs away, Dusk perceives them as a threat and attempts to eliminate them at any cost. Dusk's mind is a chaotic mess. He has a speed stat of 40. Bloodman, Bloodman, a monster made almost entirely of a strange blood. Never look away from him. If he notices you aren't watching, he will attack. Bloodman can see through walls and knows exactly where you are at all time. He is a failed experiment that was discarded while everyone thought he had vanished. He was actually in hiding, watching everyone around him. He has a speed of 44, making him much faster than you, so be careful when you look away. Scar, a monster completely covered in brown fur, faceless except for red eyes. He was the third experiment at this laboratory. Before that, he was just a normal ape with nothing special about him. He ended up here without knowing how. Scar's speed is 40.5. Gus, an employee who started working at the laboratory after the black slime incident. One day, while cleaning up a puddle of slime, he slipped and fell right into the middle up. He never got back up because the contamination took hold so quickly. As a result, Gus is blind and he can only detect your location when you make noise. Gus has a speed of 43. Ashy, a monster with skin made entirely out of ash. He was one of the experiments conducted at the location before transforming. He was a miner who worked alongside his brother, Sandman. One day, something seized them both in the caves. When they awoke, they were trapped in a strange fate with black slime consuming their arms. They eventually collapsed and woke up with a completely different powerful bodies. Though they lost the ability to speak, they act with any awareness of their actions, driven slowly by the rage and suffering born of their I don't know how to say that. In that place, Ashley has a speed of 40.5. Sandman, a monster with skin entirely made of sand. So can't we just put water in Sandman? Anyway, Sandman, a monster or skin made entirely of sand. It was one of the experiments conducted at this location. Before transforming, he was a miner who worked alongside his brother Ashy. One day, something seized them both in the caves. When they awoke, they were trapped in a strange place with black slime consuming their arms. They eventually collapsed and woke up with completely different powerful bodies. Though they had lost the ability to speak, they act without any awareness of their actions, driven solely by the rage of suffering born of their person. I don't know how to say that in that place. Sandman has a speed of 41.5. Wait, Sandman is faster than Ashy? Because he is 41.5? Yeah, he is 40.5. So this guy is 1 miles per hour faster than him. And these are coming soon.